I'll be like,
Or they'll be like,
I'll be having, the best conversation of my life, and then I'll like,
hey, how's it going? Yeah, stray away from the mic.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to What's Next Birmingham.
Hello.
So today we have a fun guest. Griffin, you are a DJ and a producer.
Yes.
And on the podcast we talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, but creatives as well. And one of the things like I really want to focus on in this conversation is kind of that element of creativity.
Right.
So thank you very much for coming on.
yes,
no
thank
problem.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you. It
guys
was
for
last
having me.
minute too, so we appreciate you being here and hanging out with us for a little while.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. So you kind of recapped the initial inspirations.
Right.
And so were those the shows? Were those for your first two?
Yeah, those are my first two shows I've ever done. Yeah.
So what did that look like for making that connection and like putting yourself in that space so that you can DJ?
Oh man, I was nervous for sure. I was super nervous. I had never done it in front of anybody, but I just did it, and it ended up being like good, and it got me over that hump of being worried about doing something,
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I was like, okay, I can do this. No problem.
Right. Definitely, like being a big crowd. You don't, you're the one controlling the vibe and the energy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to say that feeling for like the DJ is like the most important thing, because it's you can play a song that the crowd doesn't really enjoy, and it's like your mission to change that and get them back into some. That's a real DJ in my opinion. Is someone who can change the energy of the room in like the snap of a finger.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And coming at it from like a kind of holistic point of view, like where you understand the production behind it,
Right.
I think you put yourself in a better position to be able to make those shifts
Right,
and create
yeah.
that energy, that flow.
For sure. Yeah.
What are some of those pieces that like say that you're it's slowing down in a set and you recognize that in the crowd and you weren't expecting it?
Right.
What are some of those pieces that like do you throw like change the next song or
Right. I'd say
scratch form?
it's either a change of BPM or play something familiar that everybody likes.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like
For the-
type of style.
For those who don't know what BPM is, can you say that?
beats per minute.
Oh, okay.
Like
Got
the
tempo.
like the
Yeah.
fastness of the song, or like the
Like,
slow.
so if it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of slow, so you're like, all right, let's like
Let's
speed
ramp
it
it
up
up
a little bit.
for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what are some of those artists that are like key people for your sets, or some songs too?
I'd have to say Mall Grab, Katama, Basic Channel, and I feel like Basic Channel is like completely different from Mall Grab and Katama. It's dub techno versus Mall Grab and Katama, who are techno.
Mhm.
Dub techno is a whole different story. Like it's very atmospheric and very spacey and very it's slower than the average.
Right.
But yeah, Mall Grab and Katama are definitely like more fast tempo, like harder hitting techno, like hard kicks,
Yeah.
hard hi-hats, stuff like that.
Sweet.
But yeah.
Cool. Do you ever MC?
Not usually.
Hey!
Not usually, because I'm like, I don't really know what to say.
Hey, ladies!
Like, turn up, maybe. I don't
Turn
know.
up!
Yeah. So not usually, no.
Gotcha.
What would be like, okay, so let's say you have a set tonight, like pretend.
Right.
What is your routine for a day, getting ready for a set, getting energized, getting in a good mood?
Right. I'd say definitely listen to your set before you play it. But
yeah.
a lot of the times it's freestyle. I just go into it with no idea. Like I just go into it and play the first song, and from that first song I just keep adding on to it and
Wow.
see where it goes.
So
I feel like that's the best way to do it for me, at least, because I'm
Okay.
like, if I sit and am meticulous about something and I try to pre-plan it out, it's not gonna go how I wanted it to
Yeah.
go. If it's freestyle, it's just like, there you go.
It's
here.
raw
It's all
and-
out there. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I feel like that shows the skills of a DJ if you can
Right.
just play whatever's in your inventory or whatever.
Yeah.
Definitely. How much of that is like curated to like the event that you're DJing at? Like, do people come to you and say, "Hey, this is not necessarily this is the set list,
Right.
but this is kind of the vibe that we want to give"?
Yeah, some people definitely say like we're gonna have a techno night or
Mhm.
like a hard style night where it's like really heavy, really
Yeah.
heavy. But I'd say it's usually up to me.
Yeah.
Like people are usually open to how I want to take
Right.
it, you know.
Yeah.
So-
Cool. So what are you doing like right now? I know you mentioned the Hatch. Is there any other venues that you're at or you go to?
Well, I've played at Saturn a couple times. That's a great
Cool.
one. I always love
Yeah.
the Saturn
Mhm.
shows because it's a good crowd. The sound system's amazing. Firehouse. I just did a show recently at the Firehouse for some homies. Usually I don't do this, but I DJ'd for their like rap sets. So I was like the DJ behind the scenes, and then afterwards I would like DJ in between sets, and then I did a set like solo afterwards. So
Mhm.
yeah,
That's
that was
cool.
super cool. Yeah.
Mentioned the skateboarding. Have you ever done like a skate contest or anything
Yeah,
like that?
I've actually DJ'd a couple
Really?
skate contests. Yeah, at our
Really?
local skate park down
That's
here. Yeah,
sick.
that
I would
was a
like
lot of
want to
fun.
pop out for that because it's like if people are skating and it's almost like the whole like it's like a little culture clash right
Right.
there. And in my mind like I feel like I would want to curate an event that's like a thrift market,
Right.
a car show,
Oh, man.
and a DJ
Like-
set.
yeah, definitely,
all
yeah.
in like one thing. And it's like we have like exotics, we have like cool vendors, and then it's like you're up there, whoever's up there is like making the vibe, and I
Dude,
feel
for
like
sure.
all of that combined is like I want to have stuff like that,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I really like the combination of
I feel like
of
all
the
those things go together well too.
Mhm.
All those things complement each other. Pretty well. So
Yeah.
that'd be super sick.
What are some of those that you've been at where you're like, this is a great vibe, like with all of those aspects that you're talking about right now?
Right. I would say definitely the skate park was one of the really
Mhm.
enjoyable ones. But like I said, the Saturn shows have to be probably my favorite. I've played a couple at local breweries too around town, like Trim Tab, stuff like that. Trim Tab's always fun because
Mhm.
they have a good sound system as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How much do you think it would cost, like run to get a full like quality setup at a spot?
If you're buying all the
Yeah, but
sound
just buying
equipment,
it all.
man, it's pretty expensive.
Like-
yeah,
like-
it's you can buy
I guess
cheaper stuff, but
Ranges.
I would have to say, with sound stuff, you pay for what you get for. So if you spend a little bit
Mhm.
more money, you get the better sound. If you spend a
Mhm.
little bit less money, you know
Yeah,
how it is.
Yeah.
fair.
How it is.
So if we're going to a venue and like trying to figure out, is this enough like AV stuff
Right,
for an event? What are some of those things that you would recommend me to make sure that they have?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Just I'd say like just the connections you need, like the XLR and like just the cables that might plug into whatever soundboards you're playing with,
Mhm.
and
Are they like module and like
Uh,
universal almost like adapters? Or?
yeah, usually XLR is what everybody uses. So
Okay.
like if you're a DJ, you know what an XLR is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if they have it, that's really all you need. You just need speakers and a sub. If you got a sub,
Yeah,
that's
you
even
want
better.
subs.
Yeah.
You want
Yeah, if you got a
subs.
sub, it's even better. But other than that, I'd say that's all you really need. Yeah.
Is there a rental market for it, like for the equipment?
A rental market?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can go to tons of sound stores around here and rent stuff. It's
Gotcha.
much cheaper than buying it outright. You know?
Yeah,
Right, absolutely.
For sure.
Like option A, spend like 10,000-15,000 bucks on the whole setup.
Right. or-
Option B, go spend 150 and
But
get it for the night.
But I know
Yeah.
also you can spend 10 to 15,000 on one speaker.
Oh yeah,
you know,
for sure.
like so it's
Exactly.
like the
Yeah.
range of, and I know that all just comes with working more and getting in those higher upscale places.
Right.
And speaking on that, is that like what are you doing right now to like further this? Are you just like kind of like building the connections that you have right now, or like what are
Yeah.
you doing?
I'd say definitely just building the connections. Usually how it goes is I'll play a show somewhere and there will be someone that reaches out to me from the crowd and is like,
Wow,
"Hey, I
okay.
like your stuff a lot. Mind doing something with us or whatever?" And
Right.
getting socials and
Mhm.
whatnot, and then talking over DM. And just I feel like that's probably the most important part is talking to people about
Mhm.
Events and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I don't like actively reach out to people and ask, "Hey, can I play this show?"
Right.
It's usually people come to me.
Right.
could probably be better about that, but
Well, no, that's the way that you want it,
Oh, yeah, because
right?
you're kind of making yourself valuable.
Yeah.
You know, you're
Right.
not like seeming desperate or
Mhm.
anything.
yeah, exactly.
It seems like you're not really. You don't need sets. It's like
Yeah.
you have them and you are getting them. So.
I'm very thankful for
Right.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm super thankful for where I've gotten, but still go up from here.
Of course,
yeah,
of
for
course.
Definitely. So on the production side, what does that look like for you?
I use FL Studio,
Mhm.
and it's just sit down, make a beat. I feel like I try to make, even if I don't complete a track, I try to make something every day.
Mhm.
And if I want to go back to it, I've got the rough draft, of
Mhm.
the beat.
Right.
But I'd say, yeah, for sure, just trying to make music every day.
Mhm.
Literally
Yeah.
wake up, make a beat,
Yeah.
go to sleep.
Because it's like that. I really like that because every day, like one day you might have like an off day and the beat might not hit.
Right.
And the next day it's like you're on that day.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that beat is like the one, you know?
Right.
Mhm.
And I feel like we talked about this with one of our partners, Cozy, who was in the music, super into music, and now he's doing more of the beat making as well.
Mhm.
And he was saying that it's almost like we were saying that like music is like a time capsule for that moment, because whatever you wake up, you're having a great morning, and it's like you're locked in making a beat, and it's like a time capsule for that moment,
Right,
and
yeah,
that
for sure.
energy in
It's,
that
it's
moment.
like taking a photo. It's like you're
Mhm.
capturing that moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
it's so sick because there's some songs that I'm sure like the bangers, like everybody knows that, like the nostalgia and like energy behind those tracks. That it's almost like if you made a beat, it's like we all get like our energy and like inject it, like
Yeah.
we're like
Exactly.
poking it into the thing.
I feel like that's how it is with both my homies. Shout out Cordo. Shout out that homie. Shout out Free Hood again. When we all get together, I feel like that's like creatively we can all put input into our tracks, and
Mhm.
I do love collabing with other people because, like you said, it's when you get somebody else's creativity and then you get yours and then you find a way to merge it in the middle somewhere. Man, that's like the greatest. That's where the best
Mhm.
tracks come from,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's
I like what Rick Rubin. I don't remember what
Rick
podcast
Rubin.
Yeah,
he was
shout out
on,
Rick Rubin.
but he said something along the lines that creatives are like mirrors, and they reflect the energy that is out in the atmosphere.
Right.
And if you don't like finish a track, or you don't like finish something that day, and it's different later, and you hear that same sound that you were
Right.
trying to get from someone else,
Yeah.
his idea was that like these ideas are out in the universe, and it's the creative's job to like reflect that through to
Yeah,
their art.
for
Do you,
sure.
do you agree with that? Do you see it a
Yeah.
lot like that?
I would definitely say that. Like, this is kind of random, but like sometimes you'll be making a beat at night before you go to bed, and they're like, all right, I'm not gonna finish this. But you wake up the next morning, listen to that beat, and you're like, yo, what was I doing? Like,
Yeah.
that was pretty good. Or it could be the reverse. You're like, yo, that was so bad. What was I
Yeah,
thinking?
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I definitely think it's your job to convey that same type of creativity into your music so other
Right.
people can feel that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's what makes everybody's style different.
So like on the creative element, do you ever get inspired to like draw or do anything else in that creative aspect that
Right.
you get that same kind of benefit from, or is it really like tunneled, that you really are able to tap into that creative energy through music?
Yeah, I'd say I do like ton of other art.
I feel like you would do
Yeah.
graffiti, right? I
Yeah,
feel like you
yeah.
like
Yeah.
do tags and
dabble
shit.
a little
Do
bit.
you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah, I
'cause
dabble a
I'm like
lot.
pretty into that. I would definitely. I have a garage space that I want to like literally make blank and
Yeah.
just like go and just keep tagging it like
Right.
over it and over it.
Dude,
and
that's
just,
the
like,
best. That's the
yeah.
best.
Super into like
Oh,
art
yeah.
like that. I wanted to ask you. Did you have a question?
No, go for
Okay.
it.
I wanted to ask you what like. Let's say somebody is wanting to start out and maybe get into the scene like you are, and they might have some basic software.
Yeah.
What is like maybe some software that you could put them on, or some game that you could give the people watching that would maybe so they could get in the scene, or become a DJ too?
Right. I have to say the most important one is if you don't feel like you have the money to buy the software, you can always crack it. You can always get it for free.
Right.
You go on Reddit and find
like the back end
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. And I feel like if you have a homie that has it, you can get their login. Like
Mhm.
it's easier than most people think.
Mhm.
But
boards are expensive though too.
right,
you
yeah,
know?
that's true. And it's funnier, like some of the older like Pioneer, like I have a DDJ 400 that I use all the time, and it was like 300 when I first got it, which is expensive. That's
Mhm.
like, but it's a good
Yeah.
investment because
Yeah.
if you make money from your sets and stuff like that,
Right.
then you just paid that. You know, you
Exactly,
made it all
yeah.
back, so it
Yeah.
pays for
It's an
itself.
investment. Yeah.
It does, but I'd say in terms of software, if you're trying to like DJ,
Mm-hmm.
there's Serato, there's Rekordbox, there's DJ Pro for Mac. All three of those are like the only three you'll ever need in your
Okay.
life. Like Rekordbox is the software, I feel like.
Record
Yeah.
box.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
What about like making those connections to other DJs? Because I know you know a lot.
Right.
Yeah. What was it really just like showing up to the shows and like
Yeah.
doing it?
I feel like it's showing up to the shows and showing love to
Mhm.
the DJs that were doing it before you and the
Yeah.
people that were on that. Networking is just super
Networking,
important.
yeah.
Like if you're trying to get on something, you need to talk to some people. You need to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
become familiar with the people who are doing it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Become friends with them because
Mhm.
a lot
It's
more
the
people that-
community.
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want to do shows but
Mhm.
don't know of anybody who they could get to do the show. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember what I was gonna ask you. Is there any like funny experience you have at a show or any like bad experience that you
Bro,
can remember?
yes, there's like
Uh,
the funniest fucking story ever. It would have to be I was doing a show at the Firehouse. It was like the first time I'd ever done a show at the Firehouse, and this is probably like
is it literally a firehouse?
no, they call it the Firehouse. It's just like a small brick building that it's been called the Firehouse forever.
Just
I'm
like a
sure.
bar.
No, it's literally an event space and a music teaching. Like upstairs they teach music, downstairs they play
Cool.
anything really. Like there's
Cool.
been rap shows, EDM shows, hardcore. Like hardcore scene is super big.
like
over here.
moshing.
So yeah, it's I would have to say it's definitely the home of the hardcore, especially in Birmingham, and like the punk scene, all that stuff. But
and you have an experience at the firehouse.
yeah. No, but what I was saying is, yeah, the first time I had played at the Firehouse, it's probably like my third or fourth show ever, and I was still a little nervous then, but me and my friends bought a fog machine because we were like, man, we're gonna smoke this thing out. We're gonna have lasers. We're gonna make it look really
it'd be
cool or whatever.
sick, yeah.
And the homie who had the remote control to the fog machine had like walked down the street to
Oh,
a gas
no.
station, and this thing was just pouring smoke out, like pluming smoke, and it like had the fire alarms going off,
Oh no!
and like I couldn't see my hand in front of my face, and this lady came up to me, she was like choking, she was like, please, like turn that off, I can't breathe.
Oh
blah,
my
blah.
god.
And in retrospect, we could have just unplugged the machine, but in the moment we were like, dude, what do we do?
yeah.
We cannot let that happen, Sean.
I know, I
Okay?
know.
It's dangerous. It's
That's
dangerous.
hilarious. Yeah, you cause like carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah,
or
you're right.
something.
It was super funny, man. I haven't laughed that hard in a while.
That's wild.
That's a funny story.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably happened before. you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and like,
Mhm.
but
Definitely.
that just shows you that like not everything's gonna always go to plan.
Oh,
but,
for sure. Yeah.
And that's like the fun of doing it and the journey of doing
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
having these experiences.
Not everything has to be so serious. You know, you don't
Yeah.
have to be like, this is how it has to be. This is how it has to get.
Yeah,
you don't gotta
yeah.
do like that.
Yeah.
I think in the creative aspects, like the different industries that are creative, it's
Right.
easier to make those fast changes
Yeah.
than it is for a lot of business guys like you and I. Because it's like there's a whole bunch of things that go into this, and it's like we have to convince ourselves that we need to change. Whereas
Right.
in most creative aspects, it's like you're already in that kind of state.
Right. Yeah.
And I love that. It's very
Right.
interesting.
Yeah. It's important to adapt to change quickly.
Mhm.
You know, you gotta change it up. You gotta change something up quickly if you need to.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, but go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask you. We always like to add this question, like, what is next on like your agenda for 2025 going into the new year? Do you have anything coming up? or
Yeah, I've,
things that people need to get excited about.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd definitely say I've got a new EP coming out like this month.
Okay.
Sometime. I've not
Okay,
got
it
an
should be
exact
out
date.
then by the time this
Sweet.
Yeah,
releases.
it
We'll make sure to
definitely-
link it. And
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've got a project coming up. It's gonna be sick. My last one was sick, and I think this one's. Spent a lot of time on this one. This one, I've just been super meticulous about and like getting it, tuning the fine details and whatnot. But yeah, for 2025, I'd say just more shows, more music.
shows,
That's
more
what I want to do.
music.
Yeah, we'll see where it
I
goes.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a great conversation. Thank you so much
yeah.
for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. I'm excited to see the future of everything you.
Thank you.
And I'm excited for the future too, because as Dylan and I, we love alluding to what we're doing, and
Hopefully, by the time this episode comes out,
yeah,
everyone's already found out about
yeah.
Altos.
So
Oh, yeah.
Altos Mensa, you guys be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, maybe we can do a little collab with Griffin here.
Definitely.
Maybe y'all, see an Altos Mensa
Yeah. Come experience them.
event.
Yeah,
his
for
DJ
sure.
skills.
Come out. Come see what it's about.
Exactly.
Definitely. So we'll have everything for you linked down below.
Word.
And if something comes up where we've got an event ready for you, we'll have that linked down below too. But
yeah.
again, thank you very much.
Yes,
Is there any?
thank
Do
y'all.
you have a
Yes.
Spotify that you want to plug?
Yeah,
or-
Yes.
Something
It's
like that?
Bruin, BREUIN. I'm on SoundCloud, Apple Music, YouTube.
Sweet.
You'll find me. Yeah. I want to give some shout outs real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
definitely.
shout out Cordo. I want to shout out Free Hood. I want to shout out The Hatch. Nick, Alex, Will, everybody in Birmingham, all the DJ homies in Birmingham. Shout out to all them. And yeah.
That's awesome,
Heck
man.
yeah,
You're really
thank you.
showing love for the city and
For
for
sure.
everybody,
Oh, yeah.
man. I feel like you're a really well liked guy, and
Yeah.
I feel definitely like your passion for this is gonna be some, man.
Oh,
So
yeah.
just keep
Appreciate
up the
that.
good work.
It's gonna take you somewhere that you've got like no idea.
It's gonna be
for real.
fun,
Just
too.
stick with it.
Hell yeah.
And I'm excited to be along in seeing that journey. So
Thank you. Hell
again,
yeah.
thank you very much,
Sounds
and
good.
thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Peace.